What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, it's just a good old-fashioned mailbag where we answer your guys' questions, comments, concerns, hot takes, whatever it may be around the Minnesota Vikings, the NFL, and just life as a whole. So I love doing these, and we appreciate everybody who got a question in on today's show. But we're going to start off with Adam Gase here. What's going on, man? Former Bears head coach. How you doing? What is your biggest concern heading into the season? Easy answer here would be J.J. McCarthy, but I'm honestly not concerned about him whatsoever anymore. Cornerback 2 spot. Obviously, I'm going to trust what Brian Flores and this coaching staff think of Isaiah Rodgers. They know the cornerback position 100 times better than I do, but that's definitely a concern. If Isaiah Rodgers, hypothetically, if he doesn't work out and he, looks like a bust, behind him, you're putting a lot of pressure on Mekhi Blackman, Jeff Okudah, and you got two UDFAs that you like. But again, at the end of the day, they're UDFAs for a reason. Now, anybody can end up popping, but biggest concern around this team, definitely the cornerback 2, maybe the safety 3 position with Theo Jackson would maybe be a concern, but I got faith in him. Injuries also, like Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, Kelly, Fries, even now Darisaw, there are some players on the Vikings roster who have had some injuries in the past, but overall, biggest concern, got to go that cornerback 2 spot for the Vikes defense. Crypto coming in, #Vikings. For the 2025 schedule for the Vikings, which game do you think will make the media take JJ more seriously if we won? That's a fantastic question. Let me just pull up the schedule here real quick. Which game will prove to people that he's the guy? I don't think it will come after the first week of them taking on the Bears, even the Falcons. Now, again, those are back-to-back primetime games, so a lot of eyeballs will be on McCarthy. Then you got the Bengals that week. You know what I think the game will be? Let's just say, hypothetically, the Vikings start 3-0, beat the Bears, Monday Night Football, JJ plays well, beat the Falcons, Sunday Night Football. So we just beat Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, 2 quarterbacks who were drafted ahead of them. And then let's just say they go beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And then it's in Dublin, Ireland, week 4 against the Steelers, going against Aaron Rodgers, who obviously the Vikings had a chance to bring him in. If he wins that game, standalone game again, I think that's the moment that everybody would be like, oh, no, the Vikings might actually have a guy, especially if they're 4-0 and the offense is humming. I think that would be the moment. But again, I have said this on the show. Even if J.J. McCarthy goes out there first 4 weeks and he's got 10 touchdowns, no picks, averaging 250 yards a game, Vikings are 4-0. It would be the same conversation that we have around Brock Purdy and even a guy like Jalen Hurts, who just won freaking Super Bowl MVP. People still don't believe in him. But they would all say it's because of the support system. Oh, Sam Darnold did this last year. How do we really know how good J.J. McCarthy is? Honestly, I'm getting to the point where I don't really care what other people say about McCarthy, even though we talk about what other people say on this football team a whole lot. But I think it would probably be that week 4 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Michael Edward Music coming in saying, #Vikings, do you think the Vikings acquire another DB or corner? It would probably come after a preseason game or training camp. If the Vikings get a good look at these guys and they're like, oh man, Mekhi Blackman maybe isn't where we want him to be. Don't really like Okudah, Zamia Vaughn, Dwight McGlothern. Maybe after the preseason they hit up one of these veterans. But again, you always have Stephon Gilmore on speed dial. Gilmore could always be a guy you hit up in August. Training camp's going on. He knows the system. He wants to compete for a championship. That's an easy call to make that you could have on a 1-year, $3 million deal. So I don't think they'll go out there and get a Rasul Douglas or Asante Samuel. But if they do add another one, I'm going to guess it's going to be Stephon Gilmore. Cohen B, not about Vikings, but who would have the best 40 time in the chat? Me, 110%. Now, seriously though, best 40 time in the chat sports office. There's a guy named Jake Chipper. He's our Eagles producer. I think he would be up there. I think I would be up there as well. Not gonna lie. Best 40 times. See, none of us are getting under 5 seconds. I can promise you that. These are not going to be good 40 times. But we got some athletes in here. Maybe Joey Peterson. He's our Ravens host. If you want to go check him out, he's got some long legs. I could see him potentially doing it. I don't know. I could also see producer Dylan being a sneaky athlete may not see it, but then he just rips off a 4.5 40. Cohen B just put Dylan in the chat. I don't know though. Maybe that'll be a fun video for us to do. We all go do our 40 times and see who's the fastest. But appreciate the non-Vikings question, Cohen. Shout out to you, Brody. Now Corey Miller coming in. Who would win in a fight between J.J. McCarthy wielding a football or Colin Cowherd wielding a bat? Holy cow! Question of the year, the Corey Miller. All right, let's think about this. So Cowherd is like 6'2". It's not like Cowherd is like a smaller guy. If this is a metal baseball bat, 100% Colin Cowherd. It's just you get one shot on him, he's cooked. What if it's like a wooden bat? Maybe go J.J. McCarthy. This is when you know it is July 16th, and we are talking about who would win in a fight, J.J. McCarthy or Colin Cowherd. But J.J. McCarthy has a football as a weapon, and Colin Cowherd with a bat. I'm going to go McCarthy if it's a wooden bat, Colin Cowherd if it's a metal bat. That'll be my answer there. But Corey Miller, question of the year. Tommy Wood, what's going on? Pat, where do you see this team 2 years from now? Continued playoff team or championship level? You would ideally be championship level with J.J. McCarthy still on that rookie contract. He's got some playoff experience. Now, I think the biggest concern with the Vikings heading into the season, since they do have championship aspirations, is, you get the playoff time. J.J. McCarthy's never been in a playoff game. Maybe he struggles for, just one Sunday and the Vikings get knocked out. But also it's like J.J.'s got big game experience. Like obviously an NFL playoff game would be the biggest game of his career, but this is a guy who's played in national championships. He's played in a Rose Bowl. He's played in multiple college football playoff games. And he's also lost some key ones. Like that TCU game when he was 19 years old or 20 years old, he threw 2 pick sixes in that game. So obviously he's learned from those. But I would assume championship level. If we're just kind of seeing the trajectory of this football team, hopefully that's the time where like we're talked about, like how like the Lions are talked about and like the Eagles and the Niners in the NFC, where it's like, oh, if you guys want to get to the Super Bowl, you got to go through those guys. So yeah, I would probably say championship level. BLD, what's going on? Who do you think is going to have more yards this year, 18 or 3? It's got to be 18. I mean, the whole offense is ran through him. I mean, we're running that Sean McVay, Cooper Kupp offense where he's the X receiver, bounces in the slot. Now, maybe there would be, like if Jefferson is out for a month or something, don't even know why I said that, putting that out there in the universe. But, 18 for sure. I love Jordan Addison. Dude's absolutely disgusting, but, Jefferson's he's a top 5 receiver we have ever seen hit the NFL turf. He's special. He's going to have another monster year. I mean, people thought he was having a down year this past year because he only had 1,500 yards. Speaks to his greatness. But love this weigh-in. If you guys hate the Packers, give me an FGB down below in the comments section. Vikings swept up Green Bay last year. Hopefully we do it again this year. So if you guys hate the Green Bay Packers, probably still my most hated team in the NFL. Eagles are up there. Lions are now getting up there. Bears are getting up there. Honestly, I hate the whole NFC North. But if you guys hate the Packers, hit me with an FGB down below. J.J. McCarthy, Jonathan James tuning in, saying, will J.J. McCarthy play in the preseason? I think 100%. He's just got to get reps. Like, I could see McCarthy playing a whole half. And, even though it would be a little tough to watch considering what happened last preseason, but you need to. Like, you can't be scared in these situations. Now, Kevin O'Connell coming from that Sean McVay tree where McVay will not have any starters touch the preseason. Like, McVay views September football as the preseason now. So KOC having that in him, maybe there's a slight chance he doesn't play, but I'm expecting we'll at least get like 10 to 15 drives of J.J. McCarthy football. Now, I don't expect to see like Jefferson, obviously not Darisaw. Maybe you get the offensive line with Justin School at left tackle, just get a look before week 1 where you have some continuity there. But, again, most of these reps, like the best reps you'll get during that training camp, preseason time in the NFL comes at joint practices. So, like, we'll see Jefferson going up against Christian Gonzalez when they take on the Patriots. Like, that will be a fantastic matchup. Hopefully we see the Vikings D-line dominate the Patriots offensive line. So, in terms of McCarthy, though, he'll 100% play a good amount in the preseason. Cohen B, Do you think Ivan Pace Jr. is going to get extended, or do you think he'll be off the team next year? Another good question. I'm going to say, now this is twofold. It depends on the year he has. Like, if he's great again, then yeah, obviously he'll be on the team, but I think it's a little concerning for Pace's situation that they took Kobe King, who was very similar to Pace. Great off-ball linebacker, terrible in coverage. Like, that is who Ivan Pace is. I mean, even if you just look up Pace's PFF grades, like, he's terrible in coverage, but in run defense, as a pass rusher, he's one of the best in the league. I'm going to say, if I had to call my shot, I would actually say no in terms of Ivan Pace, which is very disappointing. I mean, he's already a fan favorite. I love the guy. Now, who knows what type of contract he could want? Like, again, I also think Pace is a perfect scheme fit for Flores, where he's like a chess piece where he does one thing very well, and Flores knows how to deploy him in that role. But I don't know. I would also be curious if other teams have interest in Ivan Pace because he is so specific to this Vikings defense. But I'm going to say no on that. I'm going to guess that Kobe King takes over. Michael Edward coming in saying, I see JJ will have a similar season as Jaden Daniels. I mean, if he does, the Vikings will be playing in the Super Bowl probably. They'll at least be in the NFC title game. And, be ready for it. Because if JJ looks like Jaden Daniels, this team is going to be unreal. Because, just take it how it is. If you had this Vikings team, the way they're constructed, with the coaching staff, and instead of McCarthy, you just had Jaden Daniels somehow dropped in there. I mean, a lot of people are picking the Vikings to not just make the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl this upcoming season. So if he does that, we'll be having a whole lot of fun here on the channel. And I don't know if we'll reach the peak of Jaden Daniels' rookie year, but I think he's going to have a very impressive rookie year. Then we'll be saying next offseason with first-year starting quarterbacks be like, oh, can whoever it is, Arch Manning, can he have a J.J. McCarthy, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels that's rookie year? Hopefully McCarthy gets thrown into that conversation. Big Adam, same question about Pro Bowler, but on defense. Keep the outside the box answer. Appreciate over the obvious. Outside the box answer here. So not going to go like a guy like Grenard, Van Ginkel. Not even going to throw Harrison Smith or Byron Murphy in there. I want to say Blake Cashman, but is that too obvious? I think he's got a really good chance. Outside the box answer here would be Isaiah Rodgers. Clearly the Vikings coaching staff is very, very high on this guy. So I'll go Isaiah Rodgers for that one. But I'm trying to think of even other guys. Like Ivan Pace could be a crazy one. What about Jalen Redmond? Like if he ends up getting some good tick this year, maybe he could be a guy. Dallas Turner also. But for mine, I'll go Isaiah Rodgers. Tommy Wood, the number one seed is so important. Can we get to the dance through the wild card, or the number one seed is there for the taking? Obviously it's very tough to get to the Super Bowl being a wild card team because you're going to have to go play three very good teams on the road back-to-back weeks. Obviously the number one seed helps, but if we saw a team like the Detroit Lions last year, you're at home, you have a couple of turnovers, you're not playing your best football, you can get beat any given week here in the NFL. So, yes, the number one seed is important, but winning the division is so key. You got to get that first home playoff game, but even we saw when the Vikings had it, Daniel Jones came to your building and beat them. So, I don't know if home field advantage is almost getting overrated recently in the NFL. It obviously still matters, but Washington this past season, they won 2 road playoff games. You went into Tampa, you went into Detroit. Obviously they got smoked by Philly, but yeah, I think the Vikings path, to get into the dance this year is you have a very similar season to this past season, but you end up getting the number one seed, and then you kind of get a game in the divisional where you're 10-point favorites, get to the NFC title game, whoever it may be. Hopefully that's in your building. But yeah, obviously the number one seed makes it a whole lot easier. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your day. And if you guys did watch this whole thing, hit me with a skull down below in the comments section. I'd love to see you guys show some love down below in the comments. And also hit me up on Twitter if I didn't get to your questions. At Pat Sieps is the Twitter handle. Hit me up over there, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, let's go Vikes.